G'day, Jeff Brislane here from Tempest Light Photography, and today I want to talk about some of the things you can say to real estate agents when you're approaching them to try and get your foot in the door to get business from them. Okay, so I've talked a little bit about this before, but today I'm just going to add a few extra points that you can respond if a real estate agent turns around and says to you, why should I use you? Okay, so the first thing you can say is professional photos have impact. They just stand out. They stand out from all the other average photos on the real estate markets. They stand out from all the photos taken by agents. Like, honestly, no agent can take photos as good as a dedicated professional. They just can't, unless that agent is a serious amateur photographer in their own time and they're willing to invest their time to do that, in which case I would just let that agent go. If that agent's that desperate to do their own work, I would just let them do it. But 95 or more percent of the time, a professional photographer will just produce photos that are better. They stand out, and you can show them that. Hopefully your work stands out and you can show them that. Professional photos also elicit emotions in a buyer, and they increase buyer interest. So the amount of times I've heard buyers talk about photos in a way that is emotional. They just fell in love with it as soon as they saw it. They fell in love with the house as soon as they saw the photos. They just were interested. They wanted to see it. It just got them engaged, okay? And professional photos, when done professionally, look, mate, they just grab your emotions. And that's what they're designed to do. They're designed to grab those buyers, grab them by the heart, and draw them into that house, get them interested in that house above any other houses in that area from competing agents. Okay, increased buyer interest. So professional photos give increased buyer interest that lead to more views, more bidders, and ultimately higher prices. So this goes along with the one just before it about emotions and buyer interest. So professional photos always lead to more interest, which leads to more views on the internet to start with. It leads to more people turning up to open homes and open inspections to actually see the property in person. And that's always going to lead to more bidders, and more bidders on a property always leads to higher prices. It's just how it is. That's how it works. The more interest you can generate, the more people turn up, the more people want it, the more people want to bid for it, the higher the price you're going to get. Okay. Next one, professional businesses need to provide a professional service, including photos. So you can argue back to the real estate agent, well, you're a professional real estate agent, you're a professional business yourself, you offer a service, a professional service, and you target your service that way to all of your vendors and to all of the people who would buy a house from you. Why wouldn't you use a professional photography service? That just goes hand in hand with the professional image that you are portraying as a real estate agent. Okay. Next one, professional photos impress prospective vendors. So it's not just the people who are buying a house that a real estate agent wants to impress. And this took me a while to realize this. I was always, in the beginning, I used to just think it's all about the buyers, it's all about getting buyer interest. But real estate agents have also got in mind the fact that they need to get more listings. They want to get more vendors on board. And by using a professional photographer, that really impresses people who are thinking about selling their house. So if you're thinking about selling your house and you're looking at different real estate agents, you're going to settle on those agents who are using the best quality media, the best type of advertising, the ones that just look like they're cutting edge, doing the latest and greatest things. They're going to attract a lot more people, and especially those that use quality professional photography. Okay, so it's all not just about the buyer, but it's about potential future sellers. And agents, real estate agents, good ones, are always thinking about how they can impress potential future sellers. And also, sometimes, well, more often than not actually, people who come to buy a property also need to sell a property. So people who are impressed by the whole process, and they see the real estate agent in person, they see the marketing and the professional photos, are impressed by that. If they sell through that agent, if they buy through that agent, oftentimes they'll then sell their own house through that same agent. Okay, professional photos keep real estate agents ahead of the game, ahead of the real estate game, ahead of their competition. So many agents out there still use subpar photos. They either use their own cameras, iPhones, or they employ photographers who are just amateurs and or people who just don't to lack the necessary skills to really take great photos to the next level. Okay. Next one, professional photographers have the skills to make any property look its absolute best regardless of the lighting or weather conditions. And this is a great selling point. Like honestly, a lot of real estate agents can take good photos in the ideal conditions, but a good professional photographer should be able to take excellent photos in any weather conditions: sunny, raining, cloudy, doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter to a good professional photographer. You should be able to drop skies in, brighten photos up, make places look amazing, regardless of the weather conditions. You should be able to make almost any room in a house, regardless of the lighting in that room, look amazing. You should be able to add lighting to that room and to make it look amazing. You should be able to move things, do a little bit of styling, fix things up, clean things up a little bit as you go, just to improve your shots. And a good photographer will have that in his mind, in his or her mind, as they're going through a property. Every time they look at a room and they line up their camera, they're thinking about how they can make that shot better, what they can take out to improve it, maybe something they can add to improve it, maybe changing the way the windows look, the lounges. All those things are going through your head all the time. A real estate agent's not necessarily thinking about those things. Real estate agents are thinking about how they can sell this thing to someone. You're thinking about how can I make this thing look amazing, okay? And that's something you've got to get across to your real estate agents. It's your job as a pro to have skills which can make any property look good. Now, professional photographers also have the gear, okay? So they take the hassle of gear and software skills so that agents can concentrate on sales, which they're good at. Real estate agents are good at sales. And by being able to concentrate on sales, not worry about the photos, it frees up the time. It frees up the agent's time. So this is kind of a multi thing. I'll just kind of draw and tease all these little bits out here. So firstly, the hassle of software and gear. You know, any real estate agent who wants to try and do their own photos is going to come up against the problem of what gear do I buy, and then having to purchase cameras, lenses, tripod, and then software, having to purchase Photoshop or Lightroom or something like that, then having to try and learn that software and use it to its maximum ability. And that just steers a real estate agent away from their main job of sales, which is what they're good at, and steers them off into this other area over here where they now have to learn all these other skills to make it work. And I know real estate agents who in the past have made their agents take all their own photos themselves, refuse to hire photographers, and those agents always end up with subpar photos. You know, you're going to get one or two agents on a team which may be really dedicated and good and like photography, such, you know, as an amateur, for instance. But for the most part, real estate agents are salespeople. They're not photographers. Also, photographers have the gear, so you should have the necessary professional gear to make any property look good. And I know there's always that temptation to start out with just really cheap gear and the minimum kind of kit, which is okay if you're shooting cheaper homes, smaller homes, not so great homes. But the minute you get asked to do a big property, all of a sudden an agent says, "Oh, great! I listed this $5 million acreage property. I want you to shoot." You better have the gear to shoot that. You better have the lighting equipment to be able to light really big rooms with really high ceilings, all that kind of stuff. So that's a sales point. You've got all the gear, all the equipment to be able to take on any situation, any property, and shoot it beautifully in any conditions. And that's what we do as professional photographers, and that's what keeps us above amateurs. It's what keeps us way above real estate agents themselves. So that's pretty much the list that I've drawn up for the time being. And these are kind of things you can answer to real estate agents when they ask you, you know, why should I use you? Why should I use a professional photographer specifically? Okay, so I hope that helps. Again, if you have any questions or comments, just leave them below. I'll try and answer them as soon as I can to the best of my ability. But otherwise, have a great day. I'll see you next time.